Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in the world. I am Tigress Osborne. I'm the chair of the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance, and welcome to the NAAFA webinar series. Today we are joined by a very special guest, Miss Terra Cotta Sugarbaker, who is here to give us a drag queen story hour. And we are also joined today by interpreters from Pro Bono ASL. You can learn more about their work at probonoasl.com. Our interpreters today are Susan and Sonia. For those of you who are new to NAAFA, the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance was founded in 1969, and our mission is to change perceptions of fat and end size discrimination, and we do that work through education, advocacy, and support. You can learn more about us at our website, NAAFA.org. We'll have some more announcements at the end, but I want to get right into our story time. I want to tell you that I am coming to you today from the greater Phoenix area, which is Autumnland. And we encourage those of you who are here with us live and those of you who are watching later on YouTube to find out whose land you're on if you don't already know and to acknowledge those folks. If you're with us today, we invite you to do that in the chat of our Zoom. Let's make some friends today and learn about each other. So, today's very special guest, Miss Terra Cotta Sugarbaker, is the queen of the South. Mother of the House of Sugarbaker, she enjoys volunteer work and making the world a better place. Since 2017, she has served as the executive director of the Atlanta chapter of Drag Queen Story Hour. I want to tell you a little bit about Drag Queen Story Hour before I tell you more about Miss Sugarbaker. Drag Queen Story Hour started out as drag queens reading stories to children in libraries and grew into a global phenomenon. DQSH now offers literary and creative programming for kids and teens of all ages, led by drag queens, kings, and creatures all over the world. DQSH envisions a world where kids can learn from LGBTQ plus herstories and experiences to love themselves, celebrate the fabulous diversity in their communities, and stand up for what they believe. And you can get more information about them at their website, dragqueensstoryhour.org. Miss Terra Cotta, as I said, is the director of the Atlanta chapter of Drag Queen Story Hour, and her work has received global acclaim. She's been featured on NPR, Logo, Newsweek, and many other news outlets. She has performed at the High Museum of Art, the Atlanta Children's Museum, the Atlanta Pride Festival, and was hosted by the mayor of Atlanta at Atlanta City Hall. Oh, you fancy, huh? She has partnered extensively with Atlanta-Fulton Public Library System and presented on this partnership at the Georgia Libraries Conference. In 2002, she was recognized as one of Out Georgia's most influential LGBTQ Georgians. When not in pursuit of world peace, she is interested in world domination. She enjoys reading to children because reading is fundamental. Her motto is reading books and serving looks. Ladies and gentlemen and friends of all gens, please welcome Miss Terra Cotta Sugarbaker to the NAAFA webinar series. I'm going to hand it over to you, Miss Terra Cotta.
Good morning or good afternoon or wherever you are, good day. I am so excited to be here with you all this morning, this afternoon, this beautiful day. That is a wonderful biography, and I wrote it myself, so I'm pleased with it. I want to start out just by saying a little apology to everyone. I was diagnosed with COVID last Saturday, so I am thrilled that this is a virtual meeting so that I could still be with you and not make anyone sick. If I cough, I apologize. It's because I'm still struggling with that. But my biggest apology is that because I've been sick, I was not able to get up and put on any makeup this morning. So I apologize that I have to be barefaced with you, and I just ask that you forgive me for that. I am super excited to be here today and to join with your group. body positivity is something that is extremely important to me and has been something that has been a major part of my drag, and as well as just my life in general. I believe that my drag is an expression of the fact that I think that beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. And one of the things that I've been really surprised about my work in drag is that I'm a very plus size woman. I am 6'4". I'm about 400 pounds. And I have women who are so much smaller than me who will come to me and say, you know, I wish that I could wear a sleeveless dress outside. And I just think that that's absolutely crazy. You should wear whatever makes you happy. You should wear what you feel comfortable and beautiful in. And again, like I said, I think that I hope my existence and my personality and my drag is an invitation for people to learn to be more comfortable with themselves and more accepting of themselves. I have found that in living our own authentic lives, we give other people permission to live their authentic lives. And you would be surprised how many people need that permission. So I applaud all of you who are with me on that journey and who are about not only loving themselves, but loving other people and meeting people where they're at, and just encouraging people to live their best lives. And I think that that is so much of who I am and what I embody with my drag. I also think that that is a large part of what Drag Queen Story Hour is about. It's about teaching acceptance and diversity and inclusion, and about celebrating the you that you are. And I think the earlier that we can learn that, the better off not only we will be, but the better off that the world will be. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about you know, my beliefs and my body politics. And with that, I want to give you a little taste of what Drag Queen Story Hour is actually like. And so there is no Drag Queen Story Hour without books. And today we're going to share a couple of stories with you here. And I want to start. These are two new books that were sent to us, and I'm super excited to share them. The first one is called Bodies Are Cool by Tyler Fetter. And I hope you'll be able to see the pictures and everything okay. I love the illustrations just on the cover of this. This is, you know, look how body beautiful and how positive that is. We have a beautiful variety of body shapes and sizes and colors, and I love that. So we're gonna start with this book, Bodies Are Cool. And again, I apologize if I have to take a sip of water. Big bodies, small bodies, dancing, playing, happy bodies. Look at all these different bodies. Bodies are cool. And I'm worried that my, there we go. Trying to get my background not to blur the pictures for you. Lanky bodies, squat bodies, tall, short, wide, or narrow bodies, somewhere in the middle bodies. Bodies are cool. And here we have a picture of all the people on the subway and all of the different bodies. I'm having a hard time getting the pictures to show up. Let me see. Maybe I can take my. Let's see if that helps. I don't mind if you see the art on my walls. Round bodies, muscled bodies, curvy curves and straight bodies, jiggly wiggly fat bodies. Bodies are cool. And here we've got a dance class with all different kinds of people in the class. old people and young people, just a great variety of bodies. Dark skin, olive skin, every shade of brown skin, pinky pale or peach skin, bodies are cool. And here we have a big group of people all painting, and we see all of their different complexions, all beautiful. Poofy hair, wavy hair, springy curls and flat hair, lots of hair like Miss Terra Cotta, lots of hair or no hair, bodies are cool. And we see this is everybody out at the park. A lovely day to be in the park, enjoying the sun and nature and just enjoying your body. Leg hair, armpit hair, fuzzy lip and chin hair, brows meet in the middle hair, bodies are cool. And here's everybody at a campfire, all different kinds of hair textures. Synthetic hair, we should include that in the mix. Hazel eyes, brown eyes, monolids and round eyes, blind and wearing glasses eyes, bodies are cool. And this is everybody in the movie theater. Love going to the movies, seeing all the different people at the theater. Crooked faces, bump-nosed faces, flat nose, full lips, gap tooth faces, stick out ears, and thin lip faces, bodies are cool. And I love that for this, they're at a pumpkin patch, because I love carving jack-o'-lanterns in the fall when you can create any kind of face that you want. And we've just put a note in the chat section for where you can get this book if you're enjoying it. Freckled bodies, dotted bodies, rosy patched or speckled bodies, dark skin swirled with light skin bodies, bodies are cool. So you see here at the ice cream shop, there's all different kinds of complexions, all different kinds of skins, different kind of skin types, and they're all beautiful. Hairy fingers, wrinkly fingers, dimpled elbows, chubby fingers like mine, ring fingers, wobbly arms and stubby fingers, bodies are cool. And we see all of the different hands and arms here. Everybody's doing crafts. Soft tummies, saggy tummies, flat or sticky outie tummies, innies, outies, pregnant tummies, bodies are cool. And here everybody is at a public pool and they're swimming, and you can see lots of different kind of body types at the pool. And everybody loves a pool, especially when it's hot like it is here in Georgia today. Thick legs, scrawny legs, knobby knees and long legs, roll up to the table legs, bodies are cool. And here we see everybody's different legs. I love that we've got someone in a wheelchair in the photo. So there's all different kinds of representations there. Faint scars, bold scars, stripes from getting bigger scars, marks that tell a story scars, bodies are cool. And again, we're at the beach and everybody's showing their bodies, because what? Everybody is a beach body, right? This body, that body, his and her and their body. However you define your body, bodies are cool. And here we have everyone at a summer cookout. Everybody's having a good time, just celebrating who they are. And I see somebody put in the comments, everyone has a seat at the table. Yes, room for everyone. Growing bodies, aging bodies, features rearranging bodies, magic ever-changing bodies. Bodies are cool. And everybody's at a dance party. We love dancing. Get down, have a good time. My body, your body, every different kind of body. All of them are good bodies. Bodies are cool. And there we have it. Bodies are cool. Yes. So let's have a round of applause for that. And again, there's the book and the title, Bodies Are Cool by Tyler Fetter. And you can easily find this. You can order it online or get it at your local independent bookstore, wherever you like to shop. So that is a great book, a great story, and a great reminder for everyone that bodies are cool. I have to take a sip of my water. It's just water, not vodka, whatever you might have heard. So we're going to read our next book. And this next book I am very excited about. This is called Big Wig. All right. And this is by Jonathan Hillman. I love the illustration on the front, Big Wig. And if you cannot tell, I am a fan of a big wig myself. I know that you were all thinking, what lovely hair Miss Terra Cotta has. And it is my hair, but it's also a big wig. So this is a story that I think that you will like. And I can't wait to share it with you. I also want to share that for those of you who are maybe of a certain age like myself, and remember the Book It program with Pizza Hut, Big Wig was recently featured as one of the Book It programs. So I think that's fantastic. Shout out to Pizza Hut. This is not a paid endorsement, but I just happen to be a fat girl who likes pizza and likes reading. And I love when the two of them get put together. So shout out to the Book It program for featuring Big Wig. We like diversity and inclusion, and we like pizza, like on my dress. Which my dress, if you can't see, I wore especially for today, and it says riots, not diets, and it's got our protest fist and donuts and pizza. So I thought that you might all appreciate that. So this is Big Wig. This is Wig. Wig belongs to Bibi Bedazzle, the most fabulous queen by far. And so we see here, this is Wig. And here on this page is Bibi Bedazzle, the drag queen. And I see they just put in the notes that they recently interviewed the author of this book, and you can check that out on NAAFA's website. So that's really cool. When Bibi takes the stage, Wig is a star. And you see Bibi on stage and the fabulous Big Wig. It's hard to go somewhere and not be noticed when you've got a big, fabulous wig on your head. Wig grows when the lights snap. Wig grows when the people clap. And you see, here's Wig getting bigger and bigger. So it looks like Wig grows off of attention, just like I do. When the music twirls and tangles, Wig forgets one tiny fact. Wig is not very big. And so you see here, Wig is comparing themselves to these other bigger wigs. I think that's what we call hair envy. These are the big wigs, teetering, towering atop the other queens. They're all here for the Big Wig Ball, the only night when wig feels small. So here you see the giant big wigs taking up all the space in the room, and Big Wig doesn't feel so big. Big Wig is intimidated by the other big wigs. Whoosh! This is Wig wigging out. Nowhere to hide, Wig hitches a ride on the head of this little guy. And so you see the wig making an escape. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder where the wig is going to go. But with Wig on his side, Little is a little less little. He stands a little taller. He puffs out his chest. He believes that he is the best. And the bigger he believes, the bigger Wig believes too. So you see here, let's see here, he believes in himself, and the wig just gets bigger and bigger. I love that big pink wig. Yes, Wig is fierce. Wig remembers what wigs can do. Boosh, bounce, boing. Wig brushes the world, bolder, brighter hues. So here Wig is filling their own energy. Sometimes we just have to be reminded of how great and how amazing we really are, right? Sometimes other people see that in us and we forget it about ourselves. Wig hears whispered wishes and turns them into something true. The bigger their dreams, the bigger Wig seems. So here's Wig hearing their wishes and their dreams and turning them into a superhero. Everyone wants Wig on their team. One by one, Wig gives them a try, and all together they help Wig fly. You ever seen a flying wig? Look at that. What would you do if you just saw a wig flying by in the sky? Here in the South, we call that a tumbleweave. Higher, higher, above Wig's sphere, all the way up where Wig can see clear. BB Bedazzle needs Wig most of all. Without her wig, BB is bald. So we see the wig flying up in the sky, and we see BB on stage there covering their head because BB is bald. BB needs a wig. Wig frizzes and fizzles and splits her ends. Oh no, not split ends. Flying home fast to find her friend. So we see Wig flying home, trying to get to BB. Wig makes BB bigger. Bigger when the lights snap, bigger when the people clap, bigger when the music flips and flows. That's how Wig knows. And you see the wig is back on BB, and look at BB being fabulous and fierce and just feeling herself, right? Bald is fierce too. I hear you, Carol. And I am bald underneath this wig myself. And I also tell you, bald is much cooler in the 100-degree summertime heat. Wig is big enough to win the prize. And so we see Wig back on BB Bedazzle, and Wig has won the prize. They've won the contest together. Big enough, no matter her size. There we go. And so they won the contest, even though they may not have been the biggest wig. The story is great because it is a reminder that whether you're big or small or somewhere in between, you can be fierce just as you are, and you can win the prize, right? So I love both of those stories. I love the message that they send. And again, I think that those are messages that we try to incorporate with our Drag Queen Story Hour, that kids need to hear, that representation matters, visibility matters, you know, which without getting too political, that's why the news stories that we're seeing currently about how drag in politics is being targeted and Drag Queen Story Hour specifically is being targeted. That's very frustrating because our communities need this. Our communities need this visibility, this representation. Children need to see this. We need positive role models for gender expression, for creativity, and for body positivity. I love to share a story that, excuse me, we hosted a drag story hour here in Atlanta, and I had these mothers come up to me after the event, and they said, dramatic pause. They said, you know, we love coming here and we love supporting the LGBTQ community. But the mom said, you know, I really came here because I see you as a feminist icon. And I said, oh, you know, thank you. Like, I'm so flattered by that. And she said, you know, a lot of drag queens are really beautiful. And I was like, where's this going? Like, do I need to stop you? Because this sounds shady. And she said, you know, a lot of them are really beautiful and they look like supermodels and they're very thin and, you know, they look like fresh off the runway. And I was like, I don't like where this is going. And she said, but coming here, she said, you know, there's nobody telling you that you're not the most beautiful person in the room, you know, and she was like, and that is a message that we could all benefit from. And she was like, I wanted my daughters to come today to see that their value is more than a thigh gap, you know? And she was like, and I love that you are representing that societal beauty standards don't need to define who we are or what's beautiful. And she was like, you know, you're inspiring my daughters that they can grow up to be and look however they want, and that can be beautiful. And so I took that very much as a compliment. And I think that that's what I try and put forward in my drag, is that however you choose to express yourself, no matter what size you are, no matter what color you are, just like the book that we read today, bodies are cool. And not only are they cool, but bodies are beautiful. And that we need to celebrate and embrace, you know, the full spectrum of who we are, right? So I love the opportunity to be here with you this afternoon and share a little bit about my story, and the work that I do in the community. And yeah, so with that, I think we're going to bring Tigress back on. And I think we might do some questions. And
Yes, we will. So, audience, thank you for being with us today. I want to remind everybody that this is an all ages event, so there are folks of all ages here participating in the chat from all over the place. And I know Miss Terracotta actually has a question for you. Um, so while she asks you her question, you also I invite you to enter questions in the chat that you may want to ask her. We have a few minutes for you to ask her questions. Miss Terracotta, while they do that, do you want to ask them the question that you had for them?
I do, burning questions. So because we read the book, Bodies Are Cool, I wanted to ask, what is your favorite part of your body? You know, is it your strong arms? Is it your legs? For me, one of my favorite things about my body is my smile. I think I have a good smile, and I love that my smile makes me happy and makes other people happy. You know, but what is it that you love about your body? And if you want to put that in the comments, dimples. I see someone says dimples. I have dimples too, and I love that. And I'm seeing other people echo that they love their smile, they love their eyes, their hair, and their smile. Jonathan says that they love their height. I also love my height. I am 6'4" and I love being tall.
I love my tumble weave. I have a
I
natural tumble weave.
You have gorgeous hair. I love it.
Thank you.
I would pay for hair like that.
People do. I
Yes, people do.
I also pay for some more. I have some other hair that I wear, but this is what grows out.
And
I see.
somebody says they love their nose.
Hmm.
I love that.
And being squishy because bodies
Yes.
are cool. Wiggly jiggly fat bodies are cool.
Yes. I
Um,
agree with that. I love being squishy too.
do y'all have some questions for Miss Terracotta? Please keep sharing with each other other things that you love about your bodies, other things that people of all ages love about their bodies. And do any of you have questions for Miss Terracotta?
And I'll say too, you know, while we're discussing that, like I love my smile, I love my height, I love my belly. Um, and I love the way that I look today. I love putting on makeup and playing dress up and being glamorous. But I also love at the end of the day when the lashes and the glitter and everything gets packed away and I'm sitting there with my bald head, you know. So I love that we can be all of those things.
Miss Terracotta, Stephanie wants to know what your favorite part of the book All Bodies Are Cool was. What was your favorite?
I think I love the illustrations. I love seeing the diversity of people who are depicted in the book. I love that there are people in wheelchairs. I love that there's an illustration of people of different ages. You know, we have young people and older people. There's someone in it with a prosthetic arm, which I love. And so I love that. I love seeing a lot of diversity and representation and visibility because I don't think that we see enough of that. And everybody deserves to see themselves represented.
And we thank Tyler Feder for that beautiful book. Tyler's not with us today, but Jonathan Hillman, who wrote Big Wig, is there. If you want to say hello to Jonathan in the chat, we are not going to put him on the spot to come on camera. But this week, our social media director, Tamra, interviewed Jonathan on our Instagram page, and you can find that by following us on Instagram at NAAFA Official. NAAFA official. So then you'll be able to hear Jonathan Hillman talk more about how he wrote the book Big Wig. And we also want to give a shout out to the illustrator of that book, Levi Hastings. Miss Terracotta, what was your favorite book when you were growing up?
Oh gosh, you know, My favorite book and my favorite movie are actually one and the same, and they remain to this day. The Wizard of Oz, because I love a good story about a fabulous pair of shoes, but I also love that the message of the story is that you can search for happiness everywhere, but happiness is already inside you, and that's as far as we need to go to find it.
Sierra wants to know what your life was like before you were a drag queen.
Well, I had more closet space. So I had a lot more closet space in my home. Um, it is a very expensive hobby. My husband reminds me all the time. But I would also say that it was a lot less colorful and a lot less fun. So I love the expression that drag allows me.
And um, Carol wants to know how many wigs you have and how you decide which one to wear. And she says this one is fabulous.
Thank you. I have too many wigs. I probably have over 100 wigs. Um, and I think that it's like picking out a pair of shoes or something in the morning. You kind of look at what you want to wear and just how you're feeling for that day. And I think every wig, like every dress or a piece of jewelry, has a different personality to it. So it's kind of how you feel in the mood that you want to express that day. And so this is one of my favorite. People say blondes have more fun, but I think that it's redheads.
Nice. Um, let's see, what else do we have here? Where is your amazing dress from? Liz wants to
Yes,
know she loves it.
this dress is from a company in Australia called the Cutting Club. And unfortunately, I think that they are taking a hiatus of making dresses, but they have several fantastic designs. This one, like I said, is Riots, Not Diets. But I have another one that features Divine, the actress on it. And they have several other really great styles.
Fantastic. We do have time for a few more questions, and I also want to give a shout out to the other Jonathan that those of you who are with us see in the chat. And that Jonathan is Jonathan from Drag Queen Story Hour. So if you have questions about having a drag queen story hour of your own or how that organization got started, that Jonathan is willing to come on camera to answer your questions. So if you have any questions for him, please put those in the chat as well. Bree wants to know who's your favorite drag queen.
Well, I'm my favorite drag queen, but outside of myself, I have to say, I love Divine because I think Divine is historic and iconic and was paving the way for so many of us you know, before I was even here. But we've got to give props to my fellow Atlanta girl, RuPaul Charles. And I think what RuPaul has done to globalize drag and to mainstream drag is just amazing. And again, visibility and representation, the fact that you can turn on a TV and anywhere in the world now and see drag queens on primetime television, and they're winning Emmys. And so to have such visibility and to do it so successfully, I think is amazing.
Did you always know that you were going to grow up to be a drag queen?
It's so funny. This morning, my aunt sent me a picture, and I tell this story all of the time. I'm an identical twin. And when I was about 5 or 6 years old for Halloween, my twin brother and I went as Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy. And when I tell people that I've done drag my entire life, I mean my entire life, because that was the first time I've done drag. And if you follow me on social media, I will post it. But my aunt sent me the picture today of me in drag at 6 years old as Miss Piggy. And Miss Piggy remains one of my fashion and style icons. So yes, I think I've always been a drag queen.
Do you have other fashion and style icons that you want to give shout outs to?
I do. One of my major influences is Elizabeth Taylor, and I love that Elizabeth Taylor was a style icon at every age and every size, and was beautiful at every shape and size. And I especially love like 1970s Liz Taylor when she was all about caftans and like this kind of like caftan glamour. I live for that. I love that.
Caftan glamour. We often see or hear from people, as you heard from some of those moms in your audience, about, oh, I could never. Are there clothes that you used to think you could never wear that you wear now?
There are, one of the things that I used to think I couldn't show my belly because I thought nobody wants to see that. But now I have some crop tops in my wardrobe, and I'm like, yes, I can rock a crop top. I can wear whatever I want to wear, and I can wear whatever I'm comfortable in. And I don't think we owe anybody anything, like if you like it and you want to, style is so personal, like fashion and style are two very different things. And I think that style is innate to who we are, and that you can wear whatever you want. And I see several people are mentioning caftans. I love a caftan, and I rock a caftan all the time. And I think that it is like the most comfortable and glamorous thing that you can wear. And who doesn't need glamour in their life? Like throw on a caftan and go to the grocery store, and you will be living your best life.
Peggy says they have a caftan cocktail party in their neighborhood in Las Vegas.
Peggy sounds like somebody I want to spend time with.
Yes. And shout out to Peggy for her Old Fatty campaign on Instagram. Peggy demonstrates to all of us that living big and beautiful and bold well into your 70s is a thing that can happen despite the trolls who tell us we're all going to die by the time we're 30. So you can find Peggy, put your Instagram in the chat if you'd like to share it with folks, but you can find her under hashtag Old Fatty on Instagram.
Oh, yes. I want to follow you, Peggy.
So we have time for just a couple more questions. If people have other questions for Miss Terra Cotta or from Jonathan from Drag Queen Story Hour. Miss Terra Cotta, is there something that's different about, besides appearance, is there something that's different about being a fat drag queen than being a smaller bodied drag queen?
Oh, definitely. I think that I think fat drag queens are expected to be funny. I think it's kind of like being the fat best friend. People expect you to be like fat and sassy, which is good for me because I'm hilarious. But not everybody can say that. But yeah, I think that people expect you to be funny, and maybe people expect that you're not a good dancer. I don't know. But again, I happen to be an excellent dancer, so go ahead, you know, uh, underestimate me at your own peril.
What what is your what is your favorite thing? You've talked about this a little bit, but can you say anything else about what your favorite thing is about the experience of having kids come and see you and hear you read these stories?
Yeah, because one, I know that I was a kid who needed that. I know that I'm a kid who would have benefited from seeing examples of diversity, and but also seeing beauty and glamour and creativity. And one of the things that really surprises me with kids is that kids love, I think they love the glamour of it, and kids are always attracted to my jewelry. And I have friends who brought their children to my story times all the time, and they're like, my kids will sit at breakfast and discuss, what do you think Miss Terra Cotta is going to wear today for story time? What color do you think her hair is going to be? And I love that. I love that it's dialed them into that, because I think that just like books, it drag opens them to a whole nother world of possibilities. Um, and I think fashion, makeup, all of those are forms of expression, just like a book is. And drag is like putting on a character. I can look a different way 365 days out of the year. And I think that's something that everybody would benefit from in their own life.
If you weren't a drag queen, what else would you be doing?
Oh, dictator, perhaps?
Fancy dictator.
Exactly, yeah. Although I always like to say that I feel like I'm a pageant girl at heart, so I'd probably be Miss America.
We love to see it. We love to see it. I don't see any more. Last call for questions in the chat. Anyone have a last question for Miss Terra Cotta? While we give you a minute to think about that. Of course, Miss Terra Cotta, we are all sending you loving and healing vibes for recovering from COVID. We encourage our audience to remember that we are still working through a global pandemic and we need to take care of each other. We want to thank our friends at Drag Queen Story Hour. Jonathan's put some info in the chat for you. You can follow Drag Queen Story Hour. They are Drag Queen Story Hour on all the things, all your social medias, Drag Queen Story Hour, and their website is dragqueenstoryhour.org. We are so grateful for their collaboration on this event, and we look forward to many future events with Drag Queen Story Hour. I want to tell you that coming up next weekend, as part of our Pride programming, we have a very special panel on the intersections of fat and gender identity spectrum, hosted by Bree, who is here with us in the chat. If to sign up for that, you can go to our website at naafa.org/webinars to sign up to hear from Bree and a panel of other folks of a variety of gender identities talking about those intersections between fatness and gender. And I remind you that you can find us on social media at NAAFA Official, NAAFA Official, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're not really on TikTok yet, y'all. We're going to get there. But you can find us on your favorite socials, and please do follow us. And once again, on our Instagram, there is an interview with author Jonathan Hillman about his book, Big Wig. So you should totally check that out. I don't see any last questions for Miss Terra Cotta, so I will ask you the question I always ask our guests on the webinar, which is there something we didn't ask you about that you wish we had asked you about?
I was hoping that somebody might ask me what my favorite food is. I just always think that I like talking about food. So I was hoping that I would get asked that. And since no one did, I will share with you that I love sushi and I love Twizzlers, but probably not together.
Oh, I don't know about that combination. I'm sort of thrown by thinking about that combination. I had sushi last night that had strawberries on top of it. It was very interesting. I'm going to stick with interesting as the descriptive word for that. Sushi and Twizzlers. Okay, sorry.
Leave them guessing. So,
leave them guessing. Well, once again, we thank Miss Terra Cotta for being with us today. We thank our friends at Drag Queen Story Hour, and we thank our friends at Pro Bono ASL for their interpreting today. And we thank all of you who support our work at NAAFA and our NAAFA webinar series. We are able to offer these webinars free to all fat people and all people who support fat people through the generous gifts and donations of our supporters. So if you would like to support this work, you can do that by going to give and making a contribution towards what all of the things that we do in the name of fat pride and advancing fat rights. Speaking of fat rights, we do encourage our supporters to be aware and involved of what is happening in the world of politics. And in the world of politics, where there are very few places in this country or on this planet that explicitly prohibit discrimination against fat people, there is pending legislation in both Massachusetts and New York to add height and weight discrimination to the list of things that people cannot discriminate about. So we encourage you to learn more about that. There's some information on our website about it. Under the programs, you can find our Equality at Every Size program and sign up if you want to tell us about how you'd like to see legislation in your city or your state. New York City also has some pending legislation, so we're very excited about those things. And on the subject of legislation, we want to make you aware that several states, including Florida, Texas, and Arizona, have proposed legislation specific to preventing drag queens from performing in front of children. So if you had a great time today and you believe that this is a free speech issue and something that that your state should not be regulating, whether children's books are read by wonderful humans in bright, colorful clothing, we encourage you to do your research about that and raise your voice according to however you feel about that. So once again, thank you for joining us today for the NAAFA webinar series with Drag Queen Story Hour and Miss Terra Cotta Sugarbaker. We'll see you next week for the Gender and Fat Intersections panel. Take care, everyone.